Case study, using sensors outside the box. Adams Pest Control and EverSmart solutions deployed at one of America's largest retail spaces. Now, Microshare Chief Data Strategist Tom Jackson.
So today we're finding that many of our clients are using sensors to track rodent activity outside of traps and boxes. And they're finding the data that they get from that and the impact it's having on their business to be quite valuable.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to think about sensors inside traps and inside bait stations. But we've also found where we can put a sensor maybe where we can't put a larger trap or device. And so we can detect if there's movement from A to B in between places. Mice are small. These sensors are pretty small too, so we can fit them into spaces and find out, are they really using that hole or that void or that runway or that path?
Dr. Bobby Corrigan, a pioneering rodentologist and Microshare advisory board member, is using EverSmart sensors outside the box extensively in his work for New York City and other large customers.
The fact of the matter is, and science has shown this, that some rodents go into bait boxes and traps and so forth, and some do not. And the longer we've been working in buildings like shopping malls and airports and giant apartment buildings and so forth, we often find no activity in objects. And so to be able to have a sensor that picks up rodent activity in their well-defined runways and favorite spots, and they definitely have favorite spots, that we know of, and something I work on quite extensively, would put a sensor at the top of data value to any customer.
Yeah, for example, I know in one of our restaurants, it's pretty common in the industry to put things underneath a booth. You can lift up the booth seat and put whatever you want in there. And so if you look at the ceiling, sometimes you find the activity up there and not at ground floor where all the traps are. So we've put sensors up above, not necessarily believing there was activity, but rather than putting some traps that may or may not catch these smart mice, at least put some sensors up there and detect if there's any movement at all.
In terms of recent deployments that we've done using sensors outside of boxes, one of the things that we've learned from our existing customers is that sensor placement is very important outside of traps. In some instances, we have up to 80% of the sensors deployed in various areas that I mentioned above.
And most of that is data goes up to the cloud and the server and the back end help weed out those false positives, false negatives, and they do some processing there. So I think that's a smart way to go for a platform. Keep the device costs lower, do a lot of that processing in the back end.
And so by being able to capture the level of activity, prioritizing that activity in terms of service work by the pest professionals, that allowed them to deal with that problem and minimize the problem going forward.
Yes, absolutely. Your dashboard is very good for illustrating and looking at the data in different ways, slices, forms, shapes. Product and service have evolved. It just continues to get better and better. So I love the investment you're putting into it.
Yes, if you have pest professionals that are data savvy, right? If they're used to using data and they're used to putting that data in context of the structure, whatever they may be, that's also complex. That's when the payoff is tremendous.
To learn more about EverSmart solutions for rodents, cockroaches, flying insects, bedbugs, and more, contact us at sales@microshare.io or visit us online at www.microshare.io.